culture.
Mind your culture.
My culture.
Culture and mind.
This is the podcast for the culture.
Hi, and welcome to another Mind Culture podcast. Today we have Carolina Valenzuela from Danza Universitaria in Costa Rica. She is the dancer and the producer of the company and of the festivals and of many wonderful cultural activities here in Costa Rica. She invited us to perform here. So now I have a chance to speak with her. If you like what you hear, please consider subscribing to our channel and let's begin.
The workshop was so nice.
Yes?
Thank you very much. And everybody was so happy.
Yeah.
I saw that everyone was. And Jimena told me that they were like, yes, do it again.
I don't know.
You know, Martin told me that they are professionals. They're good. And, you know, some of them are just students, like third year, something like that. But I think that in dance, Costa Rica is very well. Even if it's so small, so it's little country, but in Central America, there's no other country that has modern dance, contemporary dance like this.
Because I know that, if, for example, I perform, I mean, I don't know if Mexico...
Mexico is different. Mexico is Mexico. Okay.
Yeah.
But even in Mexico is so large and so, so rich with everything. They had a lot of everything. But even in Mexico, sometimes we find people that is still like in schools are still like stuck in Graham technique or in Limon technique, or they're doing this like modern dance more than contemporary dance, even in Mexico. But here not, it is like, everyone is like
Yeah, that's my impression actually, with that when I was in Mexico, it was a lot about limon. I think this is their heritage in a bit, and they really cultivate it, and like a lot of pieces look like limon.
Especially in choreography. Especially in choreography, you can see that, and you saw the dancers that are very nice dancers, very good dancers, but
yes.
Like in 70s, like when I dance, when I used to dance. I like that, but I know that it's not the it's like being there, like, and maybe they could do some techniques, modern and contemporary techniques, but they dance this kind of choreographies. So it's a little bit, like strange.
Yeah.
Here is different. You will
How
see.
is it here?
Different. Here is like, contemporary dancers are very crazy dancers, so they have like a lot of pieces that talks about many items, like philosophic items, like you told us that you are like a philosophic choreographer. Here is like the same. So they are very concerned about the body and the movements that can be done with every part of your body, and not very concerned about these other old techniques, but really contemporary techniques, floor and everything. Sometimes they are too acrobatic for my vision. Sometimes they are saying something or working with something very interesting, and you don't know why, but they just begin to do, like we say, like the 8. You are so doing something very important, choreographic, and then they do an 8, do something different.
You mean eight movements?
Yeah, 8 movements. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and they do 3 mortals and then return with it. But there is still like, trying to be more mature regarding this thing. So I think it's okay. I like that. What they are working hard.
And then how does it look like the journey or the situation of contemporary dancer? Like, how do you become a contemporary dancer in Costa Rica?
Okay, in Costa Rica, it's very easy because we don't have a ballet tradition here in this country. the ballet was like cut in the 30s or 40s.
Why?
Because we had like some schools, and we had a very awful accident in Honduras, and a lot of people died there. A lot of little girls and their mothers, and it was awful. And then I think that after that, it was like, like a lagoon, like some a
Reset, maybe?
reset maybe. And then also I have been thinking about the fact that we don't have this let's say, like, we don't have an army. We don't have a military government like in other countries in Latin America, and we don't have this difference between social classes so marked at those times. Maybe it's changing now. I'm very sad about that. But in those times, we don't have that. So everyone believes, like a mark of status in some countries, especially in Latin America. To go to the theater and to go to ballet, and and here we didn't have that. So maybe that's why. Maybe because we have this democracy that is a little bit strange. And in the 70s came some teachers that have been working in Europe, and they began to do modern dance. Of course, it wasn't contemporary dance, but modern dance. And people was like, enchanted about that. And so our national dance company is a contemporary dance company. We don't have a national ballet dance company. And I think that's why it's very easy to be contemporary here, because it's like in universities we teach only a contemporary dance, and our national dance company is contemporary, and the companies of the universities are just contemporary dancers. So like institutional things are contemporary. Then it's very easy to be that, because if you have to have a degree in a university, you will have to be a contemporary dancer, not a ballet dancer. So that's why it's very easy to become one.
So how does it? So I understand like there is a hierarchy embedded in ballet. This is what I understood. Like,
Yeah.
and because of the lack of the, let's say, military regime, I think it's somehow the ballet kind of fits to those kind of military controlled places. Because it said that going to the theater is a mark of status, and here you don't need that because it's more of a democracy. Right?
Exactly. That's why it doesn't develop in the same way that other countries. This is not something that is bad or good. I think that maybe it would be very nice if we had ballet developed because of technique. Then we have to retake, ballet in the 70s, also to up the level of the dancers. And then we took it. It was fine, and everybody become to do ballet, and it was accepted. I love ballet, and there's a lot of development now because some Russians and Cubans came to Costa Rica in the late 90s, something like that. And then it was like a part of us now, as the same as other kind of dancers, other styles of dancings, like hip hop and urban dancers and tango or flamenco or others that have been developing, but they don't have the status that contemporary dance has in Costa Rica.
That's
really
the difference. Interesting. That is really interesting.
The difference.
It's like very different than in Europe. Let's put it like this.
It's very different.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's because in Europe, especially in Germany, I think that contemporary dance in Germany is very important too.
Yeah.
But also, it's difficult to find a contemporary dance company near to a theater or, like attached to some institutional place. But here in Costa Rica, you have that.
Yes.
You know, you have this status for contemporary dance, and the other dances that are being that have been developing in the last years, and that is a very good thing. They don't have the same status. So when you are a contemporary dancer in Costa Rica, you are someone that is institutional or university, or you have a program especially designed from the Ministry of Culture or from the universities to develop a contemporary dancer.
Wow.
So that's the difference, I think.
Wow, like sounds really good. That sounds really good for us. For us, maybe I should move to Costa Rica.
Yes, you should.
What is Danza Universitaria, and what does it even mean, Danza Universitaria? Because I never heard of a university dance. Like it's something new to me. Is it a department, or is it like some separate entity? I'm really curious how this works and what it is.
Okay, I'm going to tell. Okay, we had this man, this dancer, Rogelio Lopez, is the founder of Danza Universitaria. But he began to dance with some other people that wanted to just to dance. They didn't know technique, they didn't know anything, and they formed a group that was called Danza Cor. And this group began to do good things, choreographic good things. They didn't have technique, but they were so passionate, you know. And they did some works, like once that was called Tierra del Maíz, or Corn Land, and it was a very huge performance with a lot of people, because there were a lot of them, and they were talking about our things, you know, like Costa Rican things, indigenous things. And after that, the University of Costa Rica began to talk to them, and they invited them to form a group in the university, for the university. So they invited them, and they became part of the university, but something that didn't have, you know, like a company. They didn't have a school here. And at that time, almost at the same time, or 1 year before, the National University, the second university in Costa Rica, had the career of dance. Then began the career of dance.
So the dance program.
Exactly. Then we couldn't repeat at that time careers, especially careers that were not so, let's say, not important, but you know, difficult to have work or something, you know.
So one university had the Department of Dance.
Department of Dance, and the other career. It was a school, dance school of in the National University, and then we couldn't do that here in this university for years. We couldn't do that. Then we stayed like a company, you know, and this was like the company, and we were attached to the chair of social action. The chair of social action, like, let's say, the one that is in charge of do social projection from the university to the society. Okay, and then we were a little part of this 4 years, because next year we are going to be 45 years old, the company. It's our 45th anniversary. And that is also something very, very odd, because, you know, it's difficult to find a company that is still 45 years working and doing things and developing also, you know, and institutional. It's very difficult to find that. And I don't know, but it's like a miracle that because we are still here and doing things, a lot of things. And that's what it is, Danza Universitaria. It's like a university group, but that has been, you know, had a lot of projection. First with a modern dance, because it became like modern, you know. We had a lot of choreographers, and this man, Rogelio Lopez, was a very good choreographer. And he did lots of works. And we went to Europe, we went to South America. We worked with, for example, we worked with a girl that was from Uruguay. He already passed away. She was Cristina Gigirei, and she had a German husband. And also, they knew, I don't know if you know him, but it's Hans Jülich. That Hans Jülich is it's a former dancer of Joss company.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and they had this folk band dance studio in Germany, and he was the director for many years, and he was a very good teacher. So Cristina invited him to come to Costa Rica, and he just fell in love with Costa Rica and with Costa Rican dancers also. And so he came here 7 years. Each year he came here. Nobody paid him, just a little cake in the pastry, because he was a very nice man. And he came here, and this relationship with expressionist dance in Germany with Pina Bausch company and everything marked a lot Danza Universitaria for a lot of years. So we had a lot of pieces that seems to be like expressionists, like German expressionist dances. So dance and theater was very attached in Danza Universitaria. And well, after that, Rogelio left, and then last years we have changed that because we have come more contemporary dancers, and the techniques has changed also. We are not doing anymore like German technique. But, the guy that now is dedicated this festival, Parentesis, Rolando Brenes, he went to Germany because Hans Jülich invited him. He took him from here, and he danced 7 years with Pina Bausch. And it was very nice for us because when he came back, he became a teacher, and a lot of people in Costa Rica had been like in touch with this kind of technique and with Germany. And we have some dancers also that have been studying in Germany and a part of Sasha Walt's company. There are a lot of Tico people there,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because of this relationship that began in Danza Universitaria.
Wow.
It's a lot of history because 45 years, it's a lot.
And how does relationship with the university work? Like, are you employed at the university, or are you having like scholarships for travel, or are you having the rooms? Are you having the, I don't know, how I'm curious how this fits in the framework of the university.
Yes, it's very strange. The history of Danza Universitaria. We have been working at the beginning. We had like just two posts. It was for the director and for the teacher. This was Rogelio and Cristina. And the dancers had been paying by students' hours, we call that. Like when you pay students or assistants, we began to be being paid in this way. And then we began to fight for our places and our, and then we became hired by the university. And we now had a post, we say that like a
job or
a job post, yes.
Yeah.
And this in property, it's ours. We had Danza Universitaria has 10 posts in property. We are paid for that, and one director and another one for projects, or another director, because we had how to say that, like a dance plan to form dancers that is called Danza Abierta, And this one is like a little school, but it's not really a school. It's like a plan, the 3 years plan, to form dancers. Do you remember Esther? Esther, the one that's very nice dancer, yesterday?
I mean, they're all really nice dancers. I don't know which one.
Yeah, the one that it was like Esther, that is very nice. Like, you know, she is from Danza Abierta. Some of them were from Danza Abierta, formed there, and so we worked like that. We have 10 posts, and we have had a lot of laboral problems. Of course, we have been fighting our whole history for having a good place to work and everything, you know. The last thing that we have had is like in our place there in that building that I showed you yesterday. We had a fire in November because the conditions of the building were very bad. So we have been saying them, we have to change our place. We have to move. We have to, to grow. We deserve that after 45 years. And they didn't listen to us. And at the end, it was a fire. And then now they are listening. Because of that, the Ministry of Health had ordered the university to tumble down the building and to rebuild whatever they want. And they have promised us a theater and a good place to work. And also, some years ago, we decided that it was the time to have a dance school in the University of Costa Rica. And so we began to design the career of dance. And we have it already designed, and we are hoping that maybe soon we could open the dance school here in the university. And Danza Universitaria will be a part of this school. That we will still be the company, but we will have also school, and it's a very, very nice school because the curriculum that we will have for this, we have planned it
Perfectly.
So perfectly, we have studied what to do and how not to be stuck in one technique, but because that is very difficult with curriculums in school, in dance school. Because change that is very difficult, and dance changes every day. So we have been working in this and improvisation and a lot of things, And I think that it will be done like maybe 3 years from now, I hope.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think this is a big trap in the education to, how to say, the people who already don't dance or are not in the field are coming to teach, and they teach something that they know for many years, but actually nowadays is different. It's always a big trap. Like I learned a lot of knowledge that, how to say, I never used. So it was a little bit of waste of time and resources, a lot of things. But yeah, I'm sure you will do better job.
I hope so, because we designed it just as some career that can evolve.
Yeah.
That can evolve. That's very important in dance because the body evolves, and it takes from here and from there, and maybe it stays there some time and then go for another thing and fusions and everything. And so in that way, if you are in an institution, you have to have the tools to change that, like something
And
very
could you tell
intelligent
me-
to change that.
So what are the tools that you use or the strategies so that it becomes fluent? I'm curious.
Okay, we designed this career like a labyrinth, somewhere that you can come in this how you say that, path, and then you turn to this one, and then you turn, and every year is like a 5-year career, because it's a license. It's not just a back. It's a license. So the students had this. They have, of course, like they will have ballet also in the first years, and they will have like contemporary techniques and also something that is like functional, everything that has to be with the health of the body, every kind of how do you say that? Like body work, but also in the creativity part, they can propose. They can always propose and improvise, and it's a part of each year. So this is the part that can be always evolving, because it's like it will respond to the students more than in the other way. It's not something that is here and then the students have. Well, it's something that the students must build. So I don't. It's like experiment, I think it will work. But is that the way that it can evolve? Because it's not something that is stuck. It's something that has to change at the same speed that the students change. So when people come to the university, they are like burned by their environment, and they will give that to the career instead of the other ways.
And what is the what is the objective of the education? I'm curious. So let's say they finish the education. Like, what are they becoming? Are they becoming company members? Are they becoming choreographers, teachers? I don't know, body workers. I'm curious.
Okay, for example, the national university career is designed for interpreters, for dancers. That is designed for that. So even if they have some workshops in other things like production or lights, it is not designed for that. But ours is very different because we have to justify that we have another career of dance, and it must be very different from the other. So we could form dancers, but we are thinking about the whole things that are around dance that every one of these people could do, like producers, light designers, or sound engineers, or even, scene designers, and everything. This is why we want them to be like very integral career. Because there is, you said that this is a very small country. When I was young, your dream was to dance in Danza Universitaria or the National Dance Company or the little camera company of the other university, and this was your dream, And I danced, and I really danced in the National Dance Company and in others. But now we have a lot of independent groups, a lot of them. It's the main part of the dance scenery of Costa Rica is independent, and they don't have anything. They don't have. They have some things because the government, the Ministry of Culture has some programs to help them. Like you, I suppose, with scholarships and some budgets to do things, projects. But they are always, like working in many things, and then it's very difficult for them. And so we don't want to form just people that want to dance, but people who can develop that, even financially, something that maybe a dancer didn't know about that, but must, because we have to become producers, financial. We have to find some, how do you say that? The people that could help you economically and everything, sponsors,
Yes.
and many things. And so this is what we think that our career will form. People that is very,
Versatile.
Versatile, exactly. We hope so.
Yeah.
We have designed that for that.
Yeah, this is really smart. This is really smart. Yeah, cool. Good luck.
Yes,
Good luck.
thank
I
you.
hope with so many things, I hope they don't lose focus in dance. But I hope, like, I think the more possibilities to find your own passion, the more possibilities you're gonna have in the job market. I think the more skills you have,
Yeah,
also.
yeah, yeah. And also, dance has been very concentrated in San Jose, for example,
Okay.
the modern contemporary dance. So the others, the other parts of the country are not so developed. So we would like to change that.
Right.
And also people can go to Guanacaste, to Limon, to everywhere, to the south of the country and develop this. There is a lot of space for do that. And we haven't, because we are like dancers, we would like to dance in the theater and be here with the audience. And we have to change that. So I
Yeah,
think
this
that.
is a similar. I think in Europe it's the same. Like now, like of course there are some countries that already have done this work, like for example Netherlands. But like countries like Austria, there's still. I mean, there's some things happening in the countryside, but there is no. Okay, it's still better than in other countries, but then it's still like there is a way to go. There's the way to create venues, to create audiences, to create, I don't know, dance programs. And I think it's good to think about that because in the end, like the more people you can make interested in dance, like the better also
Yeah.
it's for them good, but also it's good for us because then it becomes more and more respected
Exactly, and
as
you
an
have
art
to.
form.
It's the best way to create also dance audience because
Yeah.
I think that in Costa Rica, when I used to dance when I was young, for example the National Theater was absolutely crowded to see dance. Everybody wanted to see dance, but now it's different, and that is because also contemporary dance had been sometimes from my point of view, they have forget the audience. They have been working so much in their bodies and in their thoughts and in their that they have been so. Okay, I'm going to do this. I don't care if you don't like it, but you must care because you must think about the audience also. So this kind of dialogue is have to be recovered, and I think that it's like a way to sometimes happens. It's like a wave, up and down, but it has been the same with all arts. I'm doing a thesis in French because I have studied French literature, and I am doing a thesis in Racine that is a very from the 17 classicism in 17th century. So, but I can see that even in literature and in that, you can see that, okay, always evolving and then decaying and always going back up again. So I think that contemporary dance has to think about audience also, recover that dialogue between your body that is so important and so beautiful, but also with the audience, not only for you, but also for them. So I think that maybe it's time to recover this audience.
Yeah, it's I can relate to that, and I think we are like slowly turning in this direction. Like I at least in Europe, I feel like first there is a lot of this conceptual, alienating kind of dance, but more and more there are people that graduate schools, especially that are not content with this and that want to change that. Can I talk with you a little bit about Costa Rica?
Yes, of course.
So,
Por favor.
so maybe pura vida. What is pura vida?
Okay. This is our slogan now.
Yes,
I think,
the marketing.
okay. Yeah.
Of Costa
Yeah,
Rica.
marketing of Costa Rica. Well, they some scale said that we are like the most happy country in the world, the most happy people in the world. I don't think so exactly, but that is something that is really true. that Costa Rican people is a positive. We are like a positive people, you know, like we are like always. We seem to be happy even if we had a lot of problems, and we. I think that this pura vida, it means really that you have a lot of life. You know, you are just like the essence of life. Pura is like pure, you know, like this, just this. We are just life. Pura vida. Okay, and then when we, it's like expression that we, I think that we have been using this expression not too many years ago, maybe 20 or 30 years. And you ask, and how are you? I'm fine. But you say, yes, I'm fine. I'm pura vida, you know.
Okay.
And that's, even if you are so sad, but when you are, somebody asks you, how are you? They would say, I'm pura vida.
Okay.
So I'm very, very well. Just not anything else, but just life, like in essence, you know. And so this is what is pura vida. And it had become so famous, you know, everybody, and maybe tourists have been like, you know, like taking this. And then we become to see, because they say, Costa Rica, pura vida. Maybe we said that so much that people could see that, and then it became a mark, you know, like a brand. Yeah, I think so.
Something that always strikes me here, it is very green because let's say 2 years ago we've been with a company in El Salvador, and as much as I love El Salvador, it is full of trash, unfortunately, everywhere on the streets, and also you can see that the landscape is a little bit cut down, like there's just, like the trees are cut down, and it seems quite polluted. And when I'm here, and this is also what all the friends that have been here told me, it's like it's a very green country. It's the some people say it's a Switzerland of Central America.
I have been listened to that tale a lot of times.
Can you tell me why? Why is it so
Well-
green, and how was it possible that it's not cut down everything? Like, how is it so well preserved? Where is the trash? What happened?
Okay. Yes, I can tell you. Okay, I think that, you know, Costa Rica is really a poor country. We don't have a lot of minerals or, you know, some resources like Nicaragua, for example, that it's a country so rich in minerals, and it's bigger. We are so small, you know. We have a lot of volcanoes, so we are just like, we are here today. We don't know if we will be here tomorrow because we have a lot of volcanoes, and our nature is our richness, you know. We don't have anything else. Well, we have some things, but we have our nature and our people and education also. That's the difference in I think that in Central America, the difference between us and the other countries, especially in education. We have, you know, I have told you this is very important for me because we don't have an army. That means that all those resources that went to armies in Costa Rica went to education. So our schools and our public education used to be very good for many, many, many years. Like in the whole world, I think that in last years we have had a lot of problems, and we are inherited these problems like narco traffics and slave women and everything. You know, we are becoming much and much more insecure also, and I have seen that. But you know, if you have known Costa Rica like 30 years ago, you have been in another country, better country than now, even if we still have that. But there were some people that were the governors of Costa Rica that had this vision that they had to have national parks, for example. So we had a lot of national parks, and they have been preserved. and you can do just a mine in there or something. And we have a very, very strong group of people that is ecologists, people that is trying to change this mind. Because now we have some other governors that come and say, no, we are going to have a gold mine there.
Okay.
And so we have a decree from a president that said we are going to have gold mining here, an open gold mining, the
worst kind.
the worst kind of, because we don't have mines. So, and so it's like we are fighting for our nature, because it's our only richness, and that's why you can see that we fight so much for that, and we love so much.
Yeah, it for sure has to do with education. Like if so many people are educated, like
Exactly. So I think that maybe this is why you see that, and all the trash is there. Then we are changing that, and but this is a conscious that the whole world has to have. For example, for the using of plastic things and everything that came, I don't know, not too many years ago. We didn't use so much plastic, one-use plastics, but then we were used to use it, and now we have to, like this way to turn back again, and we are trying to. But I think that there is the conscious, to do that. It's very important to us.
yeah, I think there is if only thing I wanted to say is all the cars. It's a little bit like, for example, Marcin said that oh, what a nice ecological country, but in order to get somewhere you have to rent a car. So there is
For example, that
this.
is very important. Public transportation. We don't have a good public transportation. We are trying to, but there are a lot of interests. We used to have a train that went to Limon, and this train with an earthquake was like some parts of the lines were destroyed, and the president at that time said, we are not going to use it anymore. Then we think this is something that I'm not absolutely sure, but we have heard this a lot, that he had a lot of friends with transportation companies. So the transportation companies went very high, and we lost our train. And now we're trying to recover it, because a country without train is something, and we would like to have a metro also, and we would like to have a trams and everything, and we're trying, but there are a lot of interests that are fighting between them, and I think this is something that we have to do because we are so small, and a lot of cars, and with small roads and everything. We have to fight for that. It's our next fight.
Yes, yes.
That I hope that we will win.
In order to become the Switzerland of Central America, you need to have
Exactly.
trains.
Yes, I know that. It's difficult. It's difficult,
Yeah.
and now it's a very difficult time in the whole world now with the
Yes, of
pandemic.
course.
After the pandemic, for example, a lot of people without work, but I think that is because we had a lot of tourism. Now we are recovering those tourists, and so more and more will be better the economy, and I think that maybe we'll get better. But we will see, because after the pandemic, the war and the oil so high, and this world is a difficult world.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Could you tell me, when I visit Costa Rica, like, if you could tell me, because you already told me this, but maybe we can tell our listeners, what to visit, where to go, what are the Costa Rican best spots according to you?
Okay, if I will come to Costa Rica as a tourist, I really would like to go to Guanacaste, because these are small beaches and very beautiful and very kind people also, and I don't know, this ocean is so, I don't know, so nice. When you go, you can. I have been in other places when I go to the ocean, and the waves are so bad or something like that, something that is not so pleasant. But here in Costa Rica, we had these pleasant beaches, and that is something that I love so much. I will go to Guanacaste, and this is like the dry part of the country, and then I would love to go also to the Caribbean because it's the wet part of the country, and the vegetation is very different, from we have that. And also I would like to go to the mountains, and the mountains like Monteverde, to see all those animals that are just there, and I really would like to go to volcanoes also, especially Arenal volcano was very nice when it was active, and it was like a spectacle, to see everything, those things. And now it's a little bit calm, which is good also. but with volcanoes, you have to be careful because they could be so beautiful, but they could be so dangerous also. But this part is very nice because they have all these La Fortuna. They have how do you say that, like how do you say that, like
In Spanish?
the water that is very
Waterfall?
hot. No, when the water is
Hot springs?
Hot springs, exactly. We have a lot of hot springs, and it's wonderful to go there, and it's like a natural spa, and it's very nice to go there. So Guanacaste, Limón, Monteverde, as you have been in Monteverde, and also La Fortuna, San Carlos, Irazu volcano, Poás volcano near San Jose also is very nice. To go to a volcano is something that always, very, very incredible. When you go to Irazu volcano, for example, it's at 3,000 meters. In Europe it would be like with snow. But here we have this volcano so nice, and you see this kind of a soil and everything, and it's like so ancient. It's something very nice to see.
We didn't go to the volcano. Is it like you go to the volcano? Can you actually look inside of the volcano, or
The crater, yes.
Yes?
Yes, you can.
and there are some craters with lava, or it's just
It just
It's just
a
like-
Poás volcano, yes,
Yeah.
because it had been very active lately.
and is it safe
So-
to go there? Is it allowed to go there?
I don't know if now it's open,
Okay.
but because it has been working a little bit active. But when it was not, you can see the crater, and you see the sulfur, sulfur
The f-
vapors and all. Yeah, it was so nice and green like that, and a very big crater. I think it is the biggest from Poás volcano. A crater is one of the biggest craters that in America, I think, or in the world. I don't remember exactly, but it's a very big one. And also, when you go to a volcano, you go also to tracks, nature tracks that are very nice designed, and you can see also vegetation and everything. Costa Rica is a very green country. So when you come here, you would like to do that. And also, I think that it will be very nice to see some dance, because we
Yes.
have a very, very good dance. So if you can see some dance performances, you will be very happy here.
Yeah, we are very happy we're doing both things. So
Yeah,
this
I
is
know.
really great. And I think, also for example, comparing to El Salvador, just the last thing, I find the food here, even it's rice and beans, yes, amazing, because it's different kinds of rice and beans. And I experienced yesterday amazing little sandwich called patacones.
Patacones are so good, so nice.
It was like fried plantain with some kind of beans, of course, on top, and some meat and some salad on top.
Okay, nice.
Could you tell me what other great dishes you could recommend me?
Yeah.
Because I tried chifrijol. That was some kind of little
Uh-huh.
soup made with beans and chicharron, which is this fried
Pork.
fried pork inside. Little bit of rice, fortunately, only. I'm not a big fan of rice. But what other dishes should I try if I still have time?
Okay, I think that these patacones are made for plantain, okay? But when you try that sweet, like ripe. This you say ripe when it's okay. Yes, when it's not green but it's ripe. This we say plantain ripe, plátano maduro. When it's like that, it's so nice, and you will never try it in Europe because we have to wait till the fruit is almost black, because it's the best time to take it, and it's very difficult because when you have bananas, for example, in Europe and in other places, you would like them very yellow and without any spot in them, but that is not the real banana. You have to let them just go a little white. So here in Costa Rica, if you try that plátano maduro, you will see that it's very, very nice. And with cheese sometimes. They say some kind of the plátano with cheese inside and
I saw this.
that's
Yes.
very nice. Very nice. And also we have this soup that is, I have seen that almost every country has the same soup. We call that olla de carne. It's like a pot of meat. We have that. It's like a goulash or something like that, But it's very nice with a lot of vegetables, and a good olla de carne is very nice. And also we have the gallos. The gallos are the tortillas, corn tortillas with something over, And then we have gallos with cheese or chorizo. Chorizo is like some, how do you say that? Sausage, like a sausage, but it's very Costa Rican, this one, chorizo. And so we have gallos de chorizo, de queso, de frijoles molidos, that is this kind of beans that you have mashed beans.
I love this.
Yeah, and but you have also some vegetables like arracache, that is very nice also. It's like something like yuca. You know yuca?
Yes, yes.
Arracache is something like that, but we call that picadillos. These vegetables very chopped, we call picadillos, and they're so nice. When you find some restaurant that has that, very nice. So we have empanadas also. This tico empanadas, because we can find here like Argentine empanadas or another countries here, but the tico empanadas are very nice. Also from corn, a lot of corn we have here with the tortillas and everything. Which arroz con leche, like a sweet, that's very nice. Rice with milk, sweet. You have a lot. I think
Yes.
that you can find a lot of Costa Rican food that is very nice.
Yeah, I have a list now. Thank you. Okay, then. Well, I think we have to finish because the organization is on your shoulders.
Yes, I have to solve a lot of problems, I think.
But thank you so much for this conversation. And yeah,
Thank you, Hygin, for coming, and thank every one of you because you have come here and you have tried so hard to come, and that's something that I love very much. I wanted you to come to have at last this experience in the tropics and also with the climate. It had been very nice with you. The hurricane were following you. You went to Tilaran, and after that, the hurricane came. But I think that it's very nice to have you here. I hope that you have come back again.
yes, and I hope I can come back every year like this
It
person
would
that
be-
you mentioned.
It would be nice, very nice. This person, Hans Jülich, you can search
Yeah.
for him because he's so famous in Europe, in Germany. He's like Mr. Hans Jülich, He was Pina Bausch sponsor, so he was incredible. But he loves so much Costa Rica and Costa Rican dancers. He said that in Costa Rica, the people didn't walk, they dance when they walk in the streets. And, you know, if you had the opportunity, because you didn't had it, to see all the workshops that we have been doing in Parentesis, from tango workshops or other kind of dances, Vogue Femme yesterday and others, you can see how people in Costa Rica love to dance. And this is something that Mr. Hans Jolik he was really, he fell in love with that. And he came by his own every year, and he did a lot of workshops. He was wonderful. And so I hope that you will be our next European visitor here in Costa Rica every year. It will be very nice.
Thank you so much. That was Mind Culture Podcast. If you like what you heard, please consider subscribing to our channel and listen to our other wonderful conversations. See you in the next one.